Do you enjoy watching porn? You know what? That's totally okay because I also like doing it sometimes. But maybe you are porn addicted. If you clicked on this video, then either you just want to learn a bit more about sexuality, or you have the feeling that maybe something is wrong, something is maybe too much, too extreme. Stay tuned because I will explain to you today what a porn addiction is, how you find out if you have one, and of course, how you can get rid of it. My name is Barbara. I'm a sex and relationship coach from Germany. I'm also a hypnosis coach. I offer normal hypnosis when you have a problem and erotic hypnosis. I used to work as a dominatrix for 9 years, studied psychology and all of my life, and I'm almost 41, so that's a pretty long time. I was interested in the differences, men and women, and how we can talk to each other, not just about each other. Guys, what is a porn addiction? But let's talk a bit about the pornography, how it is today, because I turned 41 and I remember when I was 17, I had a boyfriend, and every Saturday we went to the video place together, and there was this curtain, and behind the curtain there were the adult movies. And I was 17, they checked the ID, so I was not allowed to go there. He was a bit older than me, so he always went there, and I was like, what did you get? What did you get? And then he showed me the one movie that we could watch this weekend. And it cost money and it was really precious, this one video. And just imagine what we do now. So if I want to watch porn, then it's like, I don't know, like 30 different movies or so that I watch, like one night. So the worth, of course, is totally gone. We consume everything for free. And many people, if something is fun, they cannot stop doing it. This goes for sun addiction. Some people, I remember many years ago, there was this sunbed addiction where people were like really like almost black because they went to the sunbed like 3 times a week, very bad for the skin. Alcohol addiction, whatever, food addiction. When something is fun, you can have an addiction. And it's the same with porn, of course. When you watch porn, when we are aroused, you know how our hormones are going crazy. So, of course, you can be addicted. But how can you find out if you are addicted to porn? Number one, definitely, you go to bed very late because you cannot stop watching it. Hey, do that once and have a good time. But if you do it regularly, if you are like, I did it yesterday and the day before and I cannot stop and I'm always so tired and I don't sleep enough because I watch those movies, not so good. So this could definitely be a sign of addiction if you cannot stop, even though you know you will be tired and you should watch not for 2 hours, maybe for 20 minutes. If you cannot change this behavior. Number two, definitely when you realize that you need to watch porn more extreme. So you watch something that maybe was really arousing for you a year ago, but now you're like, boring, I want something more extreme, especially in the BDSM sector, of course, it can be more and more extreme. So if you find out that you need more, you need this thrill, this kick, more extreme, harder, yeah, also a sign of maybe a problem. Another problem, of course, is when you have a relationship and you realize, well, being intimate with my spouse, not so interesting anymore. Yeah, I've seen those things online and they were so much more interesting. So when you realize that you don't want to do it anymore, even though you have this real person in front of you, this is definitely a sign of porn addiction. Then there's this, actually, other thing that you want to be intimate with your partner, but you can't anymore because your body is so used to this extreme thrill of something extreme. Wow, yeah, something that you see online and not just the real life. It's a real person, yeah, normal body. I've seen hotter women or more extreme things that women do, and you're just not physically able to do it anymore, so you can't get it up. Also something that can be because of a porn addiction. Of course, you can also maybe have a physical problem. But if you say, hey, it works perfectly when I watch those movies or photos or whatever, but not with my real person, my real partner, yeah, welcome to porn addiction land. And if you say, well, yeah, you just mentioned four different things. Also, of course, let's say it's actually five things. I think the most significant factor, if you want to find out if you have an addiction, is of course when you cannot stop anymore. So, for example, I mean, you can do it and have fun and whatever. But for example, you travel. And then you go, because I heard that a client of mine, he said exactly this. He said, we traveled, and when my wife was asleep, I went to the restroom and I watched movies. So if you say, hey, I cannot stop, I need to stop, and I actually have things to do. Oh yeah, number six, by the way, another factor is if you have things to do, but you can't anymore because during the pandemic, I remember many people worked from home and they said, hey, I'm sitting in front of the computer and I watch porn for hours and hours and I cannot work. There's work to be done, but I cannot work because I have to do it to myself. Do you say it like this in English? Do it to yourself? Or I don't know. We say it like this in German. So I need to touch myself, but actually there's work to do. So if you realize that you have a problem with your work or with maybe you want to meet a friend, but then you cancel because you need to do it, of course, this is also a very significant sign. So these 6 signs, so if you have one of this, or even maybe more, if you realize it's maybe more than just relaxing and having a good time once in a while, then definitely you should do something against it. And what can you do? Well, you can work with hypnosis, of course. You can go to a therapist, or you just stop it. Just stop it from now on. Don't do it for a couple of weeks and then start very easygoing again. Do it not often anymore. I would not recommend to do it less. Some people say, okay, I just do it less. Usually, if you have an addiction, just doing something less does not really help so much because we usually tend to lie to ourselves. Yeah, it was not 3 hours, it was 2 hours, so I'm not addicted anymore. Not really. Really try to do cold turkey. Don't do it anymore for, depends on you, maybe like a month or so. I work together with people. They called me every day instead of watching porn. They said, hey, can I just call you every day? And we talked. So I did this like flat rate, so it was not extremely expensive to them, but they could call me, so they could just change the behavior, calling somebody instead of being alone in bed. You know what I mean? So if you have a porn addiction, it's very important to get help because it's fun for a while, but if you cannot stop doing it and maybe even hurt your partner, because some people, they actually become asexual. They just want to watch porn and they turn the back to their partner, like, I don't want to do anything with you, but then I watch movies. So just think about your porn consumption, if it's normal or maybe too extreme. And if it is too extreme, not healthy anymore, do something against it, because everything that's fun can also turn to the opposite and destroy your life. I wish you all the best. And if you have any questions, if you're interested in a normal hypnosis, erotic hypnosis, a consultation with me, then get in touch. And you find everything here on my website. There's also an English flag. Just click on it and then you will see everything in English. Bye guys. Take care.